and welcome to our channel, Ori Vacation Memories. Come along with us as we take a 7-day French Riviera, Italy, and Ibiza cruise with Virgin Voyages. Here goes our ship, Valiant Lady. So we are boarding. The Valiant Lady are going through security, and while it's over a covered patio, it's still pretty hot out there. So you have those that are 3:15, 3:30 outside. We decided not to come as early as we normally do, and we came right at boarding, got through the 2:30 line, and we were good to go. Okay, so security pretty quick, nothing to it. And now we are headed to our official check-in to get our wristband for our key card. So here's check-in. And still a pretty good wait to say we had a 2:30 check-in and it is now 3 o'clock. But patience is a virtue, like I always say. So we have our wristbands. We're all set and ready to go on the ship. Barcelona, adios. And this is our ship, Valiant Lady. And we're all aboard already. Oh, we got somebody we gonna party with. Yes! It's their first time on Voyages. So each floor is different. On the 7th floor, I'll show you photos of some of the other ships that we took and what it looks like in it. Here's what the 7th floor looked like on Scarlet Lady. And then here's a view of what it looks like on Brilliant Lady. So just wanted to show you some of the inside cabins and what they look like. They're in a hallway between either the A or Z side. We are on the A side today, but in my previous videos, I failed to show what the inside cabins, where they're located. So, the beautiful city of Barcelona. We haven't yet sailed out. That's the Columbus statue right there, right on the port. There were probably about 6 or 7, even upwards of 10 ships that were on the port. It's a grotto from our ship. You can see that's a close-up of the Columbus statue. And now the Sagrada. Here's a close-up of the outside of the Sagrada Familia. I plan to do a full tour after our cruise. Getting ready for the sail away party! Good morning. We are in Toulon, France. So we are also here with Corsica ferries, Sardinian ferries. It's beautiful. A quick walk across the port. As you can see, there's our ship right there. So not a long walk. There is this square where you have your local vendors. They have clothing, jewelry. We're just gonna walk through and check out some of the vendors, see what they have for sale and what to offer. Here you have a jewelry vendor, bracelets, necklace, rings, and so forth. And then, as you can see, clothing vendors right to my right. Some cute dresses, skirts, wraps. Again, we're in Toulon, France. Not a whole lot to do here, but just outside this market area, we did walk through some of the shops and buildings, which we saw some restaurants later on. We also went into some of the stores. There's one art gallery we also went into, so you'll see that later as we're walking. But again, just vendors, set up as they know the ship was coming into the port. Many of them are likely not open 7 days a week from what we gather as we were walking back through. But like I said, you do have the vendors that are out there early. This is around 11 o'clock, I believe. So we didn't get off the ship right when we docked, but as we got out, we were able to see some of the vendors that had been out for a couple of hours. So we're just walking, trying to see, what's out there. We had already read again that there wasn't a whole lot to do unless you did an excursion. Here's one of the art galleries that we went into that had some really cool and nice art by local artists and some other artists. We decided to take this trolley ride, or it's a train, but we decided to take that around the city. It pretty much takes you along the port, along the coast, the marina. We did see a beach somewhere along the stop, but this is still around the marina. As you're coming from the ship to your left, there are several restaurants. There was a brunch buffet restaurant, and then a couple other vendors like gift shops, a bookstore. This is right along the marina as we're walking back to the ship. We didn't stay out long. Again, there wasn't a whole lot to do after we took the train ride around the city. It's about an hour. I believe it was $7 or €10 a person. But right before we went to the back to the ship, I wanted to get some souvenirs. We're actually collecting mini globes throughout our travel, whether it's countries or state, for our granddaughter. So I wanted to see what they have here so that I can grab one. But other than that, like I said, we didn't stay out long. It wasn't a big port, so we were back on the ship. next stop, Pisa and Florence. You actually dock in the city of Livorno, and then there's a free bus that takes you to the city center. So you can either stay around Livorno, or you can head out to Pisa, which is about a 30-minute ride, or Florence, about an hour and 30 minutes ride from the port. So even though your port says so, once you disembark in Livorno off of the ship, just you either go to either city, as I mentioned, so shore excursions, here's to us, or if you don't have an excursion, just go to the shuttle bus. Again, there's a free shuttle that will take you into the city center so that you can decide your destination, whether you're doing a private tour or if you are going to catch the metro or the train. So, welcome to Livorno. It's a pretty small port, so they do have like a car rental and a couple of vendors for excursions. But other than that, like I said, you either get on the shuttle bus, it's free. You do have to get a ticket because they're counting how many people they're transporting. But, once you get in the line and, you grab your tickets, you board the bus, and it takes you to the city center. So we've boarded the bus and we're on our way. As you can see, the area of the port, Livorno, is very industrial. Definitely nothing to do there. Either you're taking your private taxi, or you're taking the free shuttle, or you're getting on the excursion. It's really not walkable. But once we arrived, it's probably about a 12 to 15-minute ride before we actually made our way into the downtown area. And as you can see, we're passing shops, McDonald's, a couple other businesses. Right after you get off of the bus, there is a taxi stand right across the street. If you decide that you're going to take a taxi to Pisa or to Florence. When we woke up, our original plan was to only visit Pisa and then come back to Livorno and just hang around Livorno. Well, we decided last minute that yes, we do want to venture off to Florence. So we were originally going to take a taxi to the train station and then take the train to Florence. After talking to some of the drivers, it was really just going to be more cost effective for us to catch the city bus to the train station. And we're pretty adventurous like that, so we were fine doing it. We were a little lost and asking some of the tour companies or others. They just really weren't that helpful if you weren't going to be using them to go see Florence or Pisa. But we did find one person that gave us directions. So after we got off of the bus, it was probably like a 5 to 7 minute walk to the bus ticket station. So literally after you get off the bus, you want to physically turn your body to the right. You walk up to the street, the first corner, there's a light, make a left turn. You'll start to see like H&M and some of the other shops. The tickets for the bus station is just before you reach H&M. So it's on the side building and it'll say like bus ticket, something like that. So we kind of walked a little in circles, and then we found the bus stop, and then we had to go back a little bit to the actual bus station to get the tickets. So we boarded the bus. It took us to the train station, and this is where it got a little funny because like you have the line right there where everyone's standing in, but then someone said, no, you didn't have to get your tickets there. So we actually got our tickets in this little shop right there on the corner to my left. We got our tickets there. And once we got our tickets, we went and found our train. But again, it Took us a minute to understand that. We're walking around trying to see, like, I don't know why we didn't go to the ticket counter. I don't know, but we were a little confused. So you kind of just see us wandering around. These gentlemen actually were also lost. And then someone told us we can just go into the store that I just walked past to get our tickets. So we're all set. We're on board of the train. There's 4 stops from Livorno to Florence. Again, it's an hour and a half. So we decided to go the furthest route first, which is Florence, and then make our way back to Pisa, and then make our way back to the port. So I believe Florence was the 4th stop. And it took just under an hour and 25 minutes, but it was a nice, lovely ride. It was nice and smooth. We're passing all of these different cities. Of course, folks are exiting and entering. The train is actually 2 levels, which is really cool. So we were just sitting on the first level there as we just kind of either read, took a short nap, but just really enjoyed the train ride. Now, at each stop, what we heard was that the train was behind, so the train is late. And one of the things when you're like in Italy, kind of things just move at their time. So it's really important if you are going to be exploring on your own, you really need to time it, because actually when we finally reached Florence, the train was 45 minutes behind. So that really comes into play when you need to get back on the ship in a timely manner or before the ship leaves you. Made our way out of the train station. It's funny that you do have to pay if you have to use the restroom. So, of course, you're in the center of Florence, so definitely use the restroom before you leave. But just remember, I believe it was like €2 to use the bathroom. But again, you can grab something to eat, you can grab something to drink. Here we are in Florence, magnificent Florence. It's beautiful where we are. It's super hot, so either like bring an umbrella. I had a nice hat on for that day. We are at the Plaza del Duomo, and here is the famous Dome Church. It's one of the largest churches in the world, and it is the Santa Maria del Fiore. It is free entry for the church, but as you can see the line that goes around the church, it is from Monday through Saturday. It's closed on Sunday because of Mass. You have your painters, your vendors. Beautiful artwork. Local artists. So we got off the train and we decided to take a taxi from the train station to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It is walkable if you want to walk. It's about a 30-minute walk from the train station to Pisa. But we decided to take the taxi, so we're just kind of riding through the city, and we were dropped off about a block away from the Leaning Towers. You can see the taxi can no longer go any further, so he dropped us off, and so you have this sort of like alleyway. There's two restaurants right there. As you can see, folks are eating lunch, maybe before or after their visits. There are also some vendors at the end. There were some vendors that were walking around selling some woodwork items as well. But we just wanted to make our way to Pisa, and as we're walking, closer to the site of it, you'll start to see it up at the top. But here's just a span of one of the shops that have souvenirs, and here it is, sitting in the city of Pisa in the Tuscany region, is to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And what a beautiful sight it is. Of course, there are hundreds of people out here. They want to get the perfect shot. So if, the time of day that we came is pretty, I think it's around by this time 1 o'clock, maybe 1 or 2 o'clock. So definitely won't necessarily get that standalone photo, but you will see people are very creative. They're standing up on these rocks, as you can see right where the kind of divider is. They're standing there to getting the best picture. And as you continue to walk down under what looks like this fort area, there are several vendors on the other side of that as well that we're just going to walk to see what's on the other side. As we make ourselves on the other side under this fort area, there are a few more vendors. There's actually quite a few more vendors right on my right side. Well, it was time to leave Pisa. What we didn't realize is that the ship shuttle bus stopped 2 hours before we needed to get back to the ship, and so we had to catch a taxi to the train station, hop on the train, and get back to Livorno before the ship left us behind. We're going to continue to walk. Good morning. We have arrived in Ajaccio or Corsica, France, and we are here with another ship. It is called Marella Discovery 2. And 5, so all city side. We're going to be exploring today to see what's out there. As usual, we don't typically do an excursion. We love exploring any island or country. Not a whole lot on our own. And today is no exception. So we're excited to get off of the ship and see you soon. And as you're going along the pier, you see the marina to our left. There are signs that tell you that the city center is straight ahead. Here's an information booth, but there was no one in there, so we just kept on walking. But there are some really nice yachts and boats that are along the marina, but it's just a short walk. And okay, so exit this way. you have your market, mainly fruits and vegetables. Right. You see the market area. The Scole Hotelleria. I'm saying things in covered area like Spanish here. Accent, but it's French, so I don't know how to pronounce it. And spices, cured meat. Cheese, prosciutto. So Corsica is the birthplace of Napoleon. So here we are at his birthplace home. There's actually a line to get in, as you can see. I believe it was like 10 euros to get in. We opted not to go in, but definitely, you know, it's his childhood home. May have been restored with some of the furnitures and all in there. There's a gift shop here that you can go in and buy souvenirs. You know, you have your magnets, your keychain. So it wasn't so exciting, but definitely if you like history, it's definitely maybe worth you going in. But we, again, opted not to go in. We wanted to find it. We located the home. And from there, we just kind of walked the city. It's definitely walkable. So it's actually called La Maison Bonaparte. But as that, we continue to walk toward the waterway, the sea. And so we're just kind of making our way through the city. And you can see some of the restaurants. You can see some of the additional shops. So the streets wasn't crowded. I believe we were like the only ship there other than the ship that I like showed you, but I don't know how big of a capacity that is. And so as we're walking toward the water and we're looking for the church that Napoleon was actually baptized in, we're coming toward the beach area, and there's sort of like another area. It's funny because like a lot of these areas look like you see like a battle fort, which it could very well be, but we're just kind of walking along the coastline here, and we're going to be visiting, like I said, the beach that's coming up, turquoise water, ancient fortresses. It's just a dramatic landscape in itself, and so it was just really beautiful to see. And definitely, you know, they have steps going down, so you have the opportunity to kind of swim and play around in the water. So we're definitely going to go down there, because certainly cannot come this far and not put our feet in the Mediterranean Sea. So that's definitely something big for us. But as you can see, some of the houses and hotels and buildings that just sits right there along the waterway. Crystal blue, greenish water is just spectacular. And so here we are. We walked down the steps that's along the edge, and we made our way into the water to enjoy. It was actually pretty warm outside, so the water was pretty warm. Sometimes, you know, you put your feet in the water and it's pretty cold, but that was pretty warm that day. And now we're going to make our way to the church in which Napoleon was baptized. And this is definitely one of the most interesting things that you definitely want to visit while you're there outside of the water. And like I said, the Napoleon home, you can definitely do that as well. But we wanted to see the church in which he was baptized, because it does hold a great significance for the city and the history. And so we're just going to make our way up, and we're going to take a video. Hopefully I can light a candle once we're in there, and just see the spectacular just carpentry and artwork and just the beauty that normally lies within these churches. beautiful outside. We have just arrived in Ibiza, and we are so excited. We just had an amazing dinner at the Italian restaurant on board of Virgin Voyages. It's called Extra Virgin, and we are going to be getting off the ship soon and checking out the city. We are spending the night here in Ibiza, and we will depart around 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow. So let's see what we can get into tonight. So excited. Okay, we made it to the port exit. As you can see, where the walk is, it's a couple of minutes until we get to the port exit. Pretty good sized port. Reminds you of an airport. It is extremely hot today. We are used to the heat in our hometown because we also have the humidity, but it is super hot today. So we are walking back to the ship. Traffic is pretty heavy this time of night in Ibiza. Yes, everyone is coming in for the weekend party. You can see the ship from over there still. So we are headed out, and after you come down the gangway, you're either midship or aft. And you can see we have to walk down to the terminal there. to the terminal there. Everyone is ready to get off the ship and party, party, party in Ibiza. So once you get out, you have your taxi, your city boat, or the bus. Theater, Riviera. You can forget about that time I told you
So Virgin has
to
a
get to the castle. It was more like 30 to 45 minutes. Google Maps, count your days between the steps and the steep hills that we had to climb. It was definitely a trek. It was super hot that night, but I had on sandals. Why did I wear those shoes? I'll show you later, after maybe like my third hill climb. I was pretty much done, but we had already started the journey, so I didn't want to give up. And as you can see how fast those cars are going down these narrow roads, here we are going to walk under this overpath to continue our way to this castle. And we walk up the hill, motorcycle. Everyone's trying to figure out what mode of transportation, what we're gonna do. So after you get off the bus, it's another 10 to 15 minutes or so to get to the castle. Okay. Of course, if you stop and window shop, I'm not saying you have to be in good shape. Much further to be able to walk up some steep terrain. And I chose, I'm sure there were some vendors out there to do this in. So close, but yet so far we're trying to find the entrance. And my map quests have stopped working. It says we're in the wrong direction. So we keep trekking. We opted to come here at night because it is going to be scorching hot tomorrow. So, Looks just absolutely amazing. In Ibiza, as we walk to the castle. Every day. Yes, this daytime entrance castle overlooks the water. And I chose the worst possible shoes to do this in. It is amazing views, and the nighttime view is spectacular. This is the north side. And it reads, the north side of the hill Creek Mullins was used as a necropolis from the 6th century BC to the end of the Roman era. The remains of the Punic underground vaults are the most noteworthy aspect of the site, which is one of the most important examples of the Punic Phoenician culture in Western Mediterranean. At the top of the hill, there are remains of several flour-producing windmills, which continued to function until the beginning of the 20th century. What history that is. So it was time to head back down, and as we just took one last view of this magnificent city and the view in which we are looking at the other side of Ibiza, there's our ship and the port, and we're just walking back down and walking back through the city. And as you can see, there's still several people out there having dinner, enjoying themselves. Restaurants are still open. Folks are still looking for the party and where to go. But we've made our way back to the marina area, and we're just going to walk back to catch the bus back to the ship, because I believe the bus runs all night. I have no clue. It's already after midnight. Look at this taxi line. Folks are ready to go party somewhere. While most of the ship is headed off the boat for party in town, it's about midnight and we're headed back on the ship. We are super tired. It was super hot. Lots of sweating and hiking, and we're tired. So we're going to get something to drink at the galley, relax. I would definitely recommend wearing sneakers and not the shoes. We stopped and had drinks here at Ota. So many areas, nice little pictures, walk area before we head back on the ship. And Ibiza, that's a wrap. An amazing last 7 days. Thank you, Virgin Voyages. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.